The superstars of the music world stand up for women's dignity by singing, "Don't You Want to See Me Naked, Naked, Naked?" O.J. Simpson may be free, but he still owes $70 million. And Donald Trump has proven what we've known all along. The Democrats don't give a rat's ass about the Dreamers. My name's Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr and in the book Riell Truth, Stay Angry. Of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM, The Lion. Our call-in number, 877-254-7524. My friends from Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire, quote, "So the left has now gone fully insane on immigration. Last week, I theorized President Trump's big immigration proposal had been generous by design, that Trump had offered citizenship to 1.8 million illegal immigrants and another 4 million through chain migration because he wanted to demonstrate that Democrats are so unreasonable they would malign even that generosity." Trump was exactly right, which is why Democrats are maligning Trump's plan, a plan that legalizes 250% more illegal immigrants than President Obama's executive amnesty did, and they're calling it racist. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, California, led the charge, saying, quote, "The plan is a campaign to make America white again," unquote. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York, said something similar. Trump was using his plan, quote, "as a tool to tear apart our legal immigration system and adopt the wish list by anti-immigration hardliners," unquote. You have to be out of your mind to believe this. You can disagree with Trump's immigration priorities. You can think he's asking for too much or that he's asking for too little. But to suggest that allowing in millions of illegal immigrants and millions more legal immigrants is somehow a reflection of underlying racism is pure demagoguery, but that's the only card the Democrats have left to play. Because the sad truth is that Democrats aren't interested in making a deal for the Dreamers. They want to leave them languishing in limbo in order to pretend that they are allies. They don't want any deal that will cut off illegal immigration or lower legal immigration, even if it means protecting Dreamers. That's what Trump just proved, and that's what Democrats just helped him prove. Unquote. My friends, we talked about this yesterday. If you think the Democrats are looking after you and your family, you are dreaming. You're the Dreamers. This is Riell Truth, my friends. We'll be back.
The American Freedom Network will be here. Please call 1-800-205-6445 to make your donation or send a check or money to PO Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. PO Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. Help us support freedom on the air. Thank you. Choice City Electric in Fort Collins reminds listeners, out of sight should not mean out of mind. Let's remember our brave men and women of the military by sending care packages to them while they are away. You need not have a specific soldier in mind to help. Just call your local veterans organization. This message is from Choice City Electric in Fort Collins, your electrical and retrofit specialist. Visit them online or call 970-493-4077. That's 970-493-4077.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
My friends, welcome back to Riell Truth here on this Tuesday. I am still Howard Riell. Two of the great forces for truth in this country, Tucker Carlson and Coulter, came together the day before yesterday to talk about immigration. By the way, Donald Trump will be on TV tonight, State of the Union. I will be front and center. I hope you will be too. Here's Tucker Carlson and Coulter. Go.
Clear poll after poll about what it wants and what it doesn't want on the question of immigration, and it went to the trouble of electing Donald Trump against all odds and all predictions just to express that view, and it still can't get what it demonstrably wants in immigration. Is it possible for the public to have a say in this? Joseph Arce is an immigrant and a former dreamer, and she joins us tonight, I believe, from Los Angeles. Joseph, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me on again, Tucker.
So, look, there may be things about this plan you don't like. There are definitely things that I don't like about it. But it's hard to see how a plan that gives legalization, amnesty, and a path to citizenship for more than 2 million people here legally, none of them white, is white supremacy. How does that work?
Well, I think we have to take a step back and look at this from the beginning. The reason why we're in this chaos situation of young people's lives being on the line is because the president rescinded DACA, the program that gave undocumented young people the ability to work and go to...
Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. The reason we're in this terrible situation with all these young people here is because their parents broke the law and came into our country without an invitation in violation of that law. They came from a corrupt country where the law is barely acknowledged. That's the cause. You don't walk into someone else's house and blame them for your presence. Be honest.
School and drive.
Released last night, which is that it's white supremacy. And I would like you to tell me if you believe it is, and if so, how.
Would let me.
If you could give me a crisp answer and not filibuster, I'd appreciate it.
Listen.
Problem is, I get the sense she doesn't know what filibuster means, but let's continue. Wrong. Wrong. My car has been in America for a number of years. Is it an American? Clearly not. If you come to a country illegally, you are never a citizen of that country unless and until you become legal. What part of that doesn't this woman understand? She's talking around the facts. Tucker's going to nail her. Wrong, dear. Not a second-class citizen. Not a citizen at all. Wrong, dear. You keep saying the same stupid thing, and saying it a second, third, fourth time will not make it less stupid. There are no second-class citizens because these people are not citizens. Now, if you want to say they're second-class citizens of Mexico, I couldn't care less. That's Mexico's problem. But they're not citizens here, dear.
Dreamers can become citizens themselves.
Why should they be able to sponsor their parents or their siblings? If I go to a museum and I pay $5 or $10 to walk in, does that mean my siblings and my parents can come in too for free? Someone's had a little bit too much access to peyote.
And those rights are different than the rest.
Well, I don't believe her because she's lied several times during this interview.
The way you see it today is not an
First of all, right now they have no rights. Second of all, once they come to this country, if they decide they don't care for it, they're free to leave. No one, believe me on this, no one is going to force them to stay.
So that is into the country illegally. Let's get the facts straight. I came to the U.S. on a plane on a tourist visa, so I did not come into this country.
Oh, I thought that you overstayed. I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood your bio.
I did overstay my visa, but I did not come into the country illegally.
Oh, you were here illegally. Okay, so I guess that's what I just said. But
So she overstayed her visa. Why aren't the authorities there in the Fox studio putting handcuffs on her? The answer is that it would be politically incorrect to do so, and it's not law anymore, but political correctness that guides the fate of the United States. Well, if that's not a death sentence, I've never heard one. This chick should be arrested on camera. And if she's displeased with America, there are lots of other countries she can choose. Let her get to one of them. Take a break and we'll be back.
And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15.
He's here. Now broadcasting from the underground command post. The bowels of a hidden bunker somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building. We've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, everybody. Mark Levin here. Our number 877-381-3811. 877-381-3811.
The America News Network. Chaplain Collins LLC salutes our emergency first responders for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us with little or no thanks. So let's all take the time to thank our first responders for all they do for us. Also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins LLC, with 2 locations in Denver and Fort Collins, serving the community for over 13 years. Visit them online at chapelcollins.com. Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver. It's not only the best Italian and Mexican cuisine, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo.
All right, my friends, the only genius-level conservative radio talk show host who goes on the air and yells, aside from me, is Mark Levin. Let's listen to what he had to say yesterday.
Given the fact that his wife was a high-profile politician candidate in the United Democrat Party, Hillary Clinton checked that man, the former governor of Virginia, McCall. Over 700,000 votes. What they're all upset about, you see, is whether the President of the United States actually asked this man who he voted for. Now, that apparently is the fact that this man didn't recuse himself. Now, let me tell you again, what's the appearance of a conflict of interest? Not an actual conflict of interest necessarily, just the appearance of a conflict of interest. If you're a senior law enforcement official, that's needed. Disable the federal judge. Because you're expected to be objective, you're expected to be able to conduct yourself without any material of partisanship. So the president actually voted for it. And of course, the media and the Democrats are all excited about it. The same media and Democrats have all but ignored all the partisan that we have seen in these efforts. People get behind the cave. His name pops up in a text where Stroke and Page are talking about an insurance policy. But here's the bigger issue. You know, I keep looking at David I don't know if anybody said this, but I doubt it. To me, this is when you go to the place of court, you get a warrant or sign something. That's not just done at the lowest levels of the FBI. That works its way up toward the top of the FBI. The FBI director, and certainly the deputy FBI director. The deputy FBI director is the career civil offender. And that's why the top career civil offender in the FBI is supposed to look at these things or approve these things. The issue then is, what was the Netflix application? No, I kept coming back to this. I brought it up a year ago, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. What was the Netflix application? And it's my understanding that members of the House Intelligence Committee, among others, have seen it or seen parts of it. McCain would have signed off on that. If not, I'd be shocked. If not, I'd be shocked. Particularly in a high-profile case that involves somebody in Trump world. You understand that probable cause in a counterintelligence investigation is different than a criminal investigation. It's not probable cause that a crime is committed somewhere. It's probable cause that fill in the blank is a foreign agent. And more than a foreign agent, it's that fill in the blank is a foreign agent working for a foreign government, actively affirmatively. Now, on what basis? On what conceivable basis would they be able to not just apply for, but secure from a federal judge a warrant that somebody in Trump world was a foreign Russian agent working for Vladimir Putin and his government? I suppose it's conceivable. But to persuade a federal secret court to issue a warrant under those circumstances is really quite remarkable to me. That's where the dossier comes in. That's why this is so important. Because I suspect without that, they wouldn't have gotten their warrant. And that's why I've been saying now, month after month after month, that dossier had to have been used. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't have the facts. We're trying to get all the information. But I'm putting one and one together and coming up with two. I've been right so far, right? Which means, likely, the deputy FBI director would have known that, would have approved it.
don't even know if this 4-page memo that's been talked about now for a few weeks will reveal it or provide us with the ability to draw absolute conclusions. We'll see. I'm sure there's some interesting information in there, even if it's not some kind of a smoking gun or what have you. But it's fascinating to me how hard it is to get to the bottom of this. With the former FBI Director, Comey, with the Deputy FBI Director, or former now Deputy FBI Director, McCabe, and the other senior officials at the FBI, to determine whether they used the dossier or not. I told you before, all they have to say if they didn't use it is no. No, we didn't use it. We didn't use that. We didn't use a kumquat. We didn't use a ham sandwich. My point is, if you didn't use it, it's not classified that you didn't use it. You're not going to reveal anything, not any strategies, not any techniques, not any patterns, not anything substantive, nothing. You're not going to reveal anything. And they've been asked time and time again, and their answer, this Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General I've never liked, this guy said, well, we'll wait for the Inspector General's report. Wait for what? What does the Inspector General's report have to do with that specific question? Rosenstein knows the answer. And if the answer is no, we did not use that dossier. Why would we use that dossier? It was paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. It was washed through a law firm notorious for supporting Democrats. It went into Fusion GPS, a notorious opposition political organization, which then used Kremlin surrogates, operatives, to feed false information. Why would the FBI use that information? So why couldn't the current FBI Director, Wray, or the former now FBI Deputy Director, McCabe, say so? And my conclusion is because in whole or part the dossier was used. That's why. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is like conspiracy theory. This is a matter of trying to figure out what's taking place and the rationale for these answers. So the first reports in the media were that Mr. McCabe stepped down, being the great patriot that he is. And of course, the media, the chorus line of media propaganda rockets, dancing across the stage. Left leg up, left leg, right leg, turn to the right, turn to the left. That's what they do. Are blaming Trump. Trump did this. Trump did this. It's impeachable. If Trump did this, it's obstruction. If Trump did this, he pierced the veil of independence for the FBI. If Trump this, Trump that. What the hell does Trump have to do with this? Of course Trump wanted this guy out. We all wanted this guy out. The appearance of a conflict was overwhelming. He should have been out a long time ago. Even according to one of the texts. One of the senior FBI officials thought this guy should have gotten out. But he didn't get out. Why? So now the speculation is about Trump? Are you kidding me? No, again, we have to go back to basics here. Trump has the power as president to fire any subordinate he wants. That's the Constitution. That doesn't mean you can't be impeached for it, or that the House, then the Senate do this, and that. But as a strictly constitutional / legal matter, of course he can. Of course he can. Just like he fired Comey, the leaker. Comey the leaker and Comey the cover-up artist. Comey the obstructor in the Hillary Clinton case. We'll see what the memo says. You know, there's two things about this memo, too. On the one hand, the Democrats are already spinning it. Whatever's in there is not important. Whatever's in there is a distraction. Whatever in there is a cover-up. Whatever in there is the Republicans undermining the FBI. Whatever. Got it. Okay. Democrats, media, that's their position. Others are saying stuff like, this better be a killer, the way it's been sold. See, I don't view things that way. We'll look at the memo, we'll draw our own conclusions. I don't really care what politicians say. They're not the ones that matter, in my view. We'll look at this memo, which has been put together by Nunes and Gowdy, see what it has to say, and put the pieces back together. We've already, look how much information we've gotten despite the obstruction from the FBI and the obstruction from the news media. Most of the news media in this country, as a matter of fact, the overwhelming majority of the news media in this country have had zero interest in determining the extent to which the FBI has abused power. They've had zero interest in Mr. Comey's leaking. They've had zero interest in the head of counterintelligence and his girlfriend and their texts. As a matter of fact, the opposite. They were furious with the FBI for releasing them. They're furious with Nunes and Gowdy on this memo for urging that it be released. As a matter of fact, this fraud, this phony moderate senator from West Virginia, Manchin, there he was on Meet the Press attacking Nunes and the House Intelligence Committee, how they've done a great disservice to America. This guy, Manchin, hasn't done a damn thing in the United States Senate. Can anybody tell me one thing this jerk has done? And everybody sits around with, what's Manchin going to do? We're going to get the Manchin vote? Screw Manchin. Or Susan Collins, you bet we should pass a law to protect Mueller. You idiot. You're going to pass a law to protect Mueller? As I went through the other day, does she even know how laws are passed? Let's see. The House and the Senate pass a bill, it goes to the president, and he signs it. That's how you get a law. Why the hell would Trump sign this? First of all, it undermines the Constitution. It undermines future presidents. And why would he tie his own hands, even though he shouldn't fire the guy for political reasons? But there's Susan, a moderate. No, she's not. She's a left-wing kook. No, you don't understand. She's a moderate. She works with the Democrats. All right, I'll be right back.
The fact that she works with the Democrats, my friends, shows that she's a waffling simpleton. If you know 2 and 2 is 4, and the Democrats say 2 and 2 is 7, what are you going to do? Meet in the middle? Okay, we'll agree 2 and 2 is 5. How smart is that? When you know you're right, you do what you know is right. That's how wars are won and lost. Make no mistake about it, we are at war with the Democrats because they are at war with America. Item from the Associated Press. O.J. Simpson is cashing in on autographs since his release from prison and should pay the money toward a wrongful death judgment that now exceeds $70 million, according to a lawyer for the family of Fred Goldman, whose son was killed in 1994 along with Simpson's ex-wife. My friends, I don't envy O.J. Simpson for a variety of reasons, but $70 million, it's more than I make in a month. Item from Ben Shapiro. The Me Too movement has been a positive good. It's encouraged women to speak about men who've abused them and degraded them. It's encouraged men to think twice before engaging in such brutal behavior. But the Me Too movement wasn't just about stopping sexual assault and abuse. It was about female dignity. It was about women not being treated as sex objects and men treating women as fully rounded human beings. So the Grammys was rather off the mark. Yes, it included moving speeches about #MeToo and #TimesUp. Yes, several performers spoke openly about fighting sexual abuse. Then they trotted out Hillary Clinton to read from Fire and Fury, a book that's been used to accuse Nikki Haley without evidence of sleeping her way to the top of the Trump administration, and a reader who just last week was accused of leaving an alleged sexual abuser in place at her campaign. That trotted out DJ Khaled to scream his own name and then, like Joel Grey in Cabaret, usher Rihanna into the stage wearing a skimpy outfit and warbling, quote, "Don't you want to see me naked, naked, naked," unquote, followed by her pelvic thrusting among female backup dancers, unquote. My friends, I was hoping that this piece would say the required pelvic thrusting, the requisite pelvic thrusting, because you can't be cool in the music industry or in Hollywood unless you're doing something degradingly sexual in public. Did these idiots stand up for women? Not even close. Not any women that I'd want to know. Let's take a break and we'll come back, my friends. Real Truth continues.
Animal House Taxidermy in Brighton would like to take this time to say thank you to all the brave men and women in the armed forces who have served our country. Business owners, consider hiring veterans, our most dependable resource. And those heroes back home for missions abroad, know that your dedication, selflessness, and courage are appreciated. May God bless America. This message is from Animal House taxidermy and Bright, proud to salute the fighting forces of our country. This is Michael, Control. The American Freedom Network needs your please call 1-800-205 to make your donation, or send a check for the money to Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. That's PO Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. Help us keep voice freedom on the air. Thank you. Now this is the testimony of John, the Jew sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21. The associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter at the end of the month. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, or courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families foot the bill for our freedom every day. Send a military care package today to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts. This message is from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter on Highway 287 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care. Elizabeth Locker Plan and Elizabeth reminds our listeners that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early ages. We want to applaud the youngsters in our community who have had the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from Elizabeth Locker Plant, located at 366 Grant Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized HB and pork and complete custom processing. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
My friends, you know that idiot in Congress? All right, I know I got to be more specific. I apologize. There's some old broad in Congress named Frederica Wilson. You remember her. She's the jackass who's wearing those colorful sequin cowboy hats. She runs her mouth like she's got verbal diarrhea. She's got nothing good to say. She's a Democrat simpleton who got where she got in life, like Maxine Waters, by screaming race. Anyway, she's hoping to stop the world by not attending the President Trump's State of the Union message tonight. Here's Ann Coulter on the Howie Carr Show talking about Frederica Wilson and related matters.
25 years on the air.
My friends, you get it? Race, 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 race. That's all it's about. Whether it's the economy, whether it's security on our border, whether it's the military, whatever it is, ask any Democrat. Race! The only issue in America, right?
And then black country.
She doesn't mean the whole continent. She means the S-hole continent.
It hurts.
Dear, you have brought Congress to its lowest ebb. Not only by being openly stupid, but by being divisive, yelling race when there is no racial problem here. Race is not a factor in immigration. So she is the lowest common denominator. And she's going to harm President Trump by not putting her entitled little tush in a seat in front of him. Frederica, stay in the ladies' room tonight if you want.
New York Times best-selling author of In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome. And thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
You're welcome. That was a great opening. I hadn't heard that. I think this is going to start a trend because although Trump gives magnificent speeches, I always thought that would be the worst part of being a member of Congress, having to go to the State of the Union address. Though I'm sure this is really going to break up President Trump, that they won't be there.
Well, I don't understand, Dan. I'm kind of confused. Like, some of them are going to be wearing black, and some of them are going to be wearing white. And, then some people are going to be making
My friends, if there was any justice in the world, everybody on the Democrat side would be wearing a dunce cap. I have to disagree with Howie. I'm sorry. The Democrats do have their unified strategy. Here it is. Racism! Now you've heard their unified strategy.
In the country illegally, and anyone conspiring with them to keep them here illegally, to invite them to a State of the Union address, Jeff Sessions should have them all arrested, and I mean the congressman.
And so, my friends, listen, you and I are grown-ups, right? No one's going to be arrested tonight. Why not? Ann Coulter is an attorney. She just laid it out. They're accomplices to the crime of being here illegally. Law says they should be arrested. You and I know they won't be. Makes me angry. Should make you angry too. If we're going to decide that some laws can be broken, well, then let me just jog down the street to the local bank, help myself to a couple of fistfuls of cash and be on my way, because after all, maybe that's one of the laws that can be broken. It ticks me off, in case you couldn't tell.
Do you remember?
Friends, I don't remember it from 2 years ago, but I hope that illegal alien felt like a dummy, because he or she was literally a puppet. Barack Obama didn't care about them. He cared about symbolism, cared about using illegals in order to gain more power and influence for the Democrat Party. So it's the Democrats who are dehumanizing and using illegal aliens, treating them like chattel. Are there any illegal aliens who are hip to this? Do they care? Or will they do anything that needs to be done in order to get here with their hands out? And why isn't Jeff Sessions doing that? That's not a rhetorical question. I want to know. If he can arrest these people, He has a duty to arrest them. Jeff Sessions, there are a lot of things Jeff Sessions could have and should have been doing this past year plus, and he hasn't. Why not? If a Congress member brings an illegal alien into the State of the Union, arrest him or her. Do your job, Jeff.
Abraham Lincoln moved against the South.
Excuse me, Ann. I don't call them nightmares. Doesn't do anybody any good to call them nightmares. Call them what they are. Criminals. They're criminals who are gaming the system. They're criminals who are about to get away with their crime. They're criminals who should be deported. No ifs, ands, or buts. Let's take a break and we'll come back, my friends, with more Riell Truth.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. If catastrophe struck, would your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Paris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Paris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Paris Survival. American Window Tinting Incorporated in Fragtown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
All right, guys, welcome back. Liberals, liberalism, Democrats. Here's Rush Limbaugh.
Introducing liberal politics into the mix. Wherever liberalism
Well, Rush, we're out of time, but that's a good instinctive reaction because I don't believe anything in the New York Times either. However, in fairness, I will tell you that when I have a bird cage I need to line, I turn first to the New York Times because it does an absolute great job of stopping bird poop. Aside from that, I don't know what it's good for. We'll take a break and we'll wrap things up, my friends. More Real Truth ahead.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit, whether it's of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10.
Chaplain Collins LLC salutes our emergency first responders for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us with little or no thanks. So let's all take the time to thank our first responders for all they do for us. Also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins LLC, with 2 locations in Denver and Fort Collins, serving the community for over 13 years. Visit them online at chapelcollins.com. Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver is not only the best Italian and Mexican cuisine, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo.
Item from the Independent over in England. Women find men more attractive once they find out he's desired by others, a new study suggests. So my friends, tell me this. Did you need a study to tell you that? Or have you known since you were a baby that if another kid is playing with a toy, you want it? If someone else has a crayon, you want that crayon. Someone else gets a balloon, you want a balloon. Now, I don't know how many millions of dollars were spent on this study, but thank God it was done in England and it wasn't our tax dollars being spent. Major revelation. You need a study for it. Someone got paid for it. Wasn't me. Item. From the Associated Press, Dateline, Puerto Cabello, Venezuela. The cab of Carlos de Pino's big rig gave him a nerve-rattling front row seat to a surge in mob attacks on Venezuela's neighborhood markets, cattle ranches, and food delivery trucks like his. Shortly after pulling away from the docks at Puerto Cabello, the nation's biggest port, he witnessed 20 people swarm a truck ahead of him and in a frenzy fill up their sacks with the corn it was carrying to a food processing plant. The driver was held at gunpoint. It fills you with terror, Del Pino said. Question for the schmucks in my audience who were feeling the burn in the last election. I'm talking to the people who wanted Bernie Sanders, the socialist, to be president. Schmucks! Look at what socialism is doing to Venezuela. People are breaking into zoos to eat the animals. Because socialism doesn't work. hasn't worked, won't work, and you are did throw away your votes on a program guaranteed to make Americans poor. Be ashamed. Be very ashamed if you were one of the people stupid enough to have voted for Bernie Sanders. But the real question is, have you learned anything since then? Or are you just as stupid? Item from Breitbart. There are the types of stories CNN is never going to tell. Neither is MSNBC or any of the other mainstream media outlets, said Angel Dad Dan Golvach of the 2015 murder of his 25-year-old son by a previously deported illegal alien. News media outlets such as CNN, MSNBC align with Democrats in advocacy for amnestyizing illegal aliens while ignoring angel families and the broader consequences of illegal immigration, said Golvach. We have the whole of the Democrat Party, along with Republican defectors that are in both houses, that have decided to put the interests and health and well-being of foreign invaders ahead of American families, said Golvach. You think any of these Democrats or these bleeding hearts are going to put up some of their own kids as an offering, as a sacrifice to this agenda of theirs? No. It's easy to sacrifice mine. It's just treasonous, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of Americans not even being mentioned in the mix. Unquote. Mr. Golvach, I join you. Democrats are willing to trade American lives for illegal lives because illegal lives are guaranteed to vote for them. Roll that around on your tongue, my friends, my Democrat voters out there. Roll that around on your tongue and see how it tastes. Because those people have been killed by illegals. The blood is on your hands. I'll see you tomorrow.